different plants, different voices, and different ways of having conversations. It's time to get personal with plant medicine. Welcome to Getting Personal with Plant Medicine. I'm your host, Diana, and today I am joined once again by the lovely Tashiana, the sun goddess, also known as Tosh.
Thank you for having me back.
Thank you for coming back.
I'm happy to be here.
We're going to do many more episodes and things
It's like
together.
my home away from home now. So I'm enjoying it.
Oh, well, we enjoy you. And
Awesome.
I'm
Thank
saying
you.
we, as in the royal we. I think everybody
The royal
enjoys
way.
you.
I love that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So this time we're not going to talk about just one herb. We're
Right.
going to talk about
A few.
Okay. Because it's May, and even though this probably will air after May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I feel like we could use that awareness every month right now.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah. With the state of the world, I think this is right on time. I really do. Yes.
I feel like everyone needs help with their mental health right now. So you work with a lot of different people in a lot of different situations. How do you determine when a client comes to you with their mental health struggles? Like what plants and herbs do you go to begin with? Like, how do you even start that process?
Okay, so that's an excellent question. I actually have, and I think I probably stated this before, but I take more of a unorthodox approach when it comes to dealing with any clients I get. I am more of a holistic practitioner, if you will. So when someone comes to me, considering I also am psychically gifted, everyone is unique. I'm not going to treat anyone with like blanketed symptoms the same way. That's just never going to happen in my support system. That just never is how it works. For example, if it was yourself, you would come to me. I want to hear what physical symptoms you are having, your clinical indicators, like any medications, or if you want to disclose like, clinical notes, I'm happy to read them. Of course, I also like to know any like mental, emotional afflictions. And then I also psychically scan people. So I do like auric scans or like your spirit body, because for me, especially if it's in the realm of mental health, there's something, it's all connected. Your mind is so connected to your spirit.
Right.
So you might be having some sort of spiritual affliction that is manifesting physically or mentally or emotionally. So I have a different approach in that way. And then based on the individual and what I find intuitively, I'm then going to start working with certain herbs based on their clinical and spiritual benefits.
So a lot of people that I talk to who are brand new to plant medicine are afraid of the plants exasperating something that might, especially anxiety. People who, like you said, anxiety sensitive.
That was
like
myself. Yes. I too used to be this exact same way. So, yes.
So what plants or herbs would you suggest for someone who's afraid of making their anxiety worse?
So first, you want to begin, everyone likes to dive in, and I don't know why they go right for the psychoactives. I think it's what's mainstream.
Yeah.
That's alarming to me. I'm not saying it doesn't work. For some people, it does work. It's not. In my experience, it typically does not. If you are concerned...
not to cut you off, but I think that one of the biggest roadblocks, as someone who's willing to try pretty much anything, is that if you think that it's going to do well, you'll just take it, but then you don't realize that it can help with anxiety, but it could also make it worse if you don't approach it in the right way.
Correctly. That is absolutely correct. It's almost like giving... I always say plants are intelligences. They're not pills, you know what I mean? So they have an energy, and you kind of have to work with them or use them as like an allyship. So there needs to be some level of reverence there. It's not just using it at your will. Now, if someone like myself or yourself that can tend to be more like a sensitive, anxious, type, I always tell everyone to start with more nervine support, like more nervous system soothing, supporting, healing herbs.
And that's what nervine means.
Correct. So nervine herbs are going to support the nervous system.
Okay.
Because it's so closely tied to anxiety and depression and a lot of mental ailments that we experience. That is usually going to be my first starting point. You can work with certain herbs, chamomile, for example. Excellent starter.
Yeah, let's talk about that, right? Because
chamomile
a lot of people disregard chamomile. Like, I personally, it makes me more awake.
Yes.
I have like a different reaction to it
Yes.
than same thing with my son. I've given it to him. He very much like me, does not sleep well.
Okay, correct.
Has a tendency to be a little bit more high energy. So when I give him chamomile, it seems like it actually makes it more, and same with me. Like I'm more awake.
That makes sense. Are you using it like in a tincture form or just as a tea? Okay. That makes a lot of sense. I know this is going to sound like a crazy question, but is your son the same zodiac sign as you as well?
No, but very close.
Okay. Because I only ask because it's such a like invigorating herb too. So people like us that are like Leo sons,
right?
It's more of a vibrant herb. It can be uplifting in that way, but to the point where it can teeter on making you a little more anxious, if you will.
Okay.
But it is great for nervine support. So that way, most people are not going to, if with proper dosage, they're not going to be that exasperated by it. Rose. I mean, you can't go wrong with Rose. Rose is great for a variety of things. We're going to get back to her.
Yeah. And you can also look at our Substack for a delicious chocolate rose cookie recipe.
Ooh,
so, because we went into that a little bit in an earlier episode about chocolate and roses and how they can actually be plant medicine.
Okay, I love that.
I've been trying to incorporate rose more into my teas and things like that.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking like nervine support, something safe for those that are not wanting to exasperate anxiety. Oat straw. Oat straw is a good one. Lavender. I mean, lavender's like the it girl. So everyone knows lavender. There's no need for me to have brought lavender.
Right. It's everywhere.
She's a star on her own. Another one that a lot of people overlook, skullcap. Skullcap, and think of it, the name actually is quite literal in terms of its physical, spiritual benefits. Like skullcap, it's going to just put a nice, soothing, nourishing, it's good for people that have like racing thoughts or tend to be more anxious and sensitive. Like,
I think I smoked it one time.
Yeah, it's totally.
It was part of like an herbal blend with catnip.
Yep.
Catnip and skullcap.
Yep.
And can't remember
those are often
really nice.
A lot of people use it too for like nicotine replacements. So
that's great.
Skullcap is a great starting point for people that are nervous, if you no pun intended,
right,
about their anxiety being exasperated. Start there. Do not start with the psychoactives like blue lotus or even passion flower, which we have here, can teeter on psychoactive like capabilities. So you want to be mindful of that. An herb that I feel like does deserve an honorable mention just because of how well it treats anxiety across the board when used and dosed properly is St. John's wort. And it's also incredible for depression, but cautionary note, it has, that reaction with the liver enzyme, so it can kind of speed up the metabolism of others. It doesn't work. It doesn't pair well with others.
That's why I pretty much avoided it for so long, because I've always wanted to try it because I've known about the effects for a long time.
It's incredible.
But I was either on birth control or something like that I was like, oh, maybe
it is
not.
One of those herbs that like it demands to shine on itself. Like, let me do my job. I don't need anyone in the room with me. That's St. John's wort. So, but when used under the right supervision, it can be incredible. Honestly, it's one of the best.
So really quickly then, if you're saying under supervision, so if someone's like just starting out and they're like, I just want to try some tea.
Right.
I'm feeling pretty depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would you suggest for that?
Tulsi, this bad girl here. I mean, they don't call her the queen of herbs for nothing.
Otherwise known as holy basil.
Holy basil as well, correct.
It took a while to figure out that was the same thing.
I tend to use them interchangeably, but I don't know. Tulsi, it's what I resonate with.
I love
more.
It
has such a dual, it's like a universal herb, and it's one of the safest herbs. So it's one of those where it's like you have to really try and find a fault in it. But it is a very good herb for depression, anxiety. It has nervine, so it soothes the nervous system. It's stabilizing. It's like a big, gentle hug for your nervous system. But then it also has adaptogenic properties, which is why a lot of people love it for just preventing illnesses overall, because it helps. similar to ashwagandha and its adaptogenic effects. So it can keep your body at homeostasis. So, which is ideal. Anytime, mental health, physical health, you just want to be at harmony. So
let's talk about that really quickly. Homeostasis, which we talked about last time. We talked about a lot on this podcast, let's just be honest. If someone's trying something, because I know that when you're on different medications and things like that, it might not pair well with, even if you're just drinking some chamomile tea. So how can someone kind of figure out how to get to homeostasis if they're starting off and they're taking things like, you know what I'm saying? They have a whole routine, already they have a toolbox.
Okay.
But the toolbox isn't working.
Okay.
So do you recommend that they start to take some of those things out of the box, put a pause on it for a little bit?
Correct. I would tell them, one, you want to just take a pause. I say if someone came to me and they're like, hey, I'm using all these things and nothing is helping me or supporting these ailments or alleviating these ailments that I'm having. Okay, I'm going to ask what they are, and then I will tell them what I think they absolutely should. I'm not a wasteful person, so we're not going to throw anything out or get rid of anything unless it's like illegal or harmful, which is not my business. But in that instance, I will tell them, let's put a pause, pump the brakes on this. We'll do a proper assessment. And from there, I would tell them, like with anything, start with the soothing herbs. Like I cannot urge people enough to start with nervine herbs. Your nervous system will never be like, oh, well, I'm so upset that you want to support me. It's never going to happen. And it supports so much of your bodily function that I feel like it's important to start there. But it's like with anything, start slow and go from there. Like if you are noticing something,
start low and go slow.
Go slow. Yes. Start low and go slow. So if you notice that, hey, these 6 herbs in my toolbox are not working for me, they're not getting the job done, then I want you to integrate another herb slowly. You know, you want to take notes, look at how your body reacts to it, and then you go from there. Because some people just are mixing things.
Oh, I'm one of those people. I am one of those people.
Don't tell me that. Oh, goodness.
I have been in that situation before where I'm like, oh, I'll try some motherwort and I'll take some chamomile and I'll drink this and that and this and that. And then before I know it, I'm like, and I'm like, why am I not only not firing on any cylinders, but I'm just like a wreck, basically.
Motherwort is another one. She's like, I think the warts, like she likes it. It's like the king and queen. They like to play by themselves.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
So that's another, So when people run into that, I'm always going to say, like, let's pump the brakes. We'll come back. We're going to go low and slow. Start with a few signature herbs and go from there. Some people start, and I know it's like so exciting when you're getting introduced to plant medicine I want to try everything. Yeah. That's not, I'm talking, this is like 9-10 years of me integrating this stuff slowly and slow. For the first 2 years of my journey, you couldn't get me off of chamomile if my life depended on it. So I'm like, no, this is literally the only herb I need. I promise. That's it. But obviously you go low, you start slow and go low in dosage. Some people, there are herbs that work excellent for them. They're just literally overdosing. You can do that with herbs.
That's the one thing I see the most on the herbalism subreddit, which I love, by the way, because I'm always learning new things.
I do love it.
And they're always saying, just pick 3.
Pick like a trinity. I always say this. Find a trinity that works for you. I don't know why my thing with 3s, but find a trinity that's your go-to. Especially, you can, even if you want to really narrow it down, niche it. Say you're someone that you're dealing with mental health issues and physical ailments. Let's try and select a trinity for each, and you want to see how these things interact. It's like a cocktail party.
Yeah.
It's almost like that. Don't invite all these herbs and roots together in one event, because some of them don't get along well, so that's the best analogy I can give. Some of them don't mix well. They really, truly don't.
That's true. So let's go back to depression. What are your favorite plants for managing depression?
Managing depression.
I know you said St. John's wort, right?
So that would be, but that's not something I jump to immediately for most people, just because of everyone's on something, I can't, I'm not a physician, so I can't tell you to stop this medication you're on, but you do want to work closely with a physician if you want to utilize that particular herb. I would say that.
Okay.
If we're talking managing depression, again, Tulsi is a great one. I love Tulsi overall. Managing depression. Go-to cola is a great one. Go-to cola is great because it's like a rejuvenator of like the mind and spirit too.
Never even heard about that until you said.
Really?
I feel like maybe once or twice I might have seen those words, but I didn't attribute them to
Yeah,
I guess.
it's great because some people, in my experience too, and this is not to negate anyone's like mental health journey, but some people are like, I'm depressed. And after me spiritually, analyzing them, I'm like, you're not depressed. You maybe had a little bit of a bad energy. You had a little funk on you, like that's it, like a little residue. So some people just need that flicked off. Go-to cola is great for that in terms of an energetic sense, but also in terms of an actual like medicinal or clinical sense as well. So those are two that are really great. Geez, what's another great one for managing depression? Helichrysum is one I really like.
Helichrysum?
Helichrysum. A lot of people have depression that is trauma related,
right?
Like, or trauma induced, if you will. And it is I do have some with me, but I'm not gonna. It's funny. It looks a lot like if you were to take chamomile and it like looks like a small yellow hydrangea.
Oh.
It's like but it smells like a curry. Its other name is wild curry.
Wow.
But it is a solar herb and that's rose. Rose is great for anyone that comes to me and they have grief-based depression.
Okay.
I'm going to go because it's a heart opener and it's soothing.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and this is kind of what I mean when I say that I look at the entire person as a whole, like their energy and all of that. That's really important. So it's for me, I can give general, like if I'm going to say the safest thing for depression or anxiety, Tulsi. Everyone, holy basil, have it. Like it's safe. It's one of the best herbs you can take for long-term use.
So that's good for anxiety and depression.
Exactly. It is a wonderful herb. And again, because it has that duality, like nervine and adaptogenic, but it's so soothing and safe for so many. But of course, use it, start slow, like 2 tablespoons, have a cup, maybe 2 cups a day max, and you want to monitor yourself from there. But you'll notice the effects. Tulsi works pretty quickly.
Okay. And now we did touch on it a little bit, but when people are in a funk, which I'm sure a lot of people are right now.
They are. Yeah.
What would you recommend for that other than the Tulsi?
Go-to cola is great. Another one for when you are in a funk is going to be, I like a mixture, believe it or not, of passion flower, but this again can have a little bit of the psychoactive. So this would be, you want to use this moderately, in moderation rather.
Okay.
Don't just say,
flower.
I'm not going to use 3 cups of this a day. Like let's start with 2 tablespoons, 1 cup a day and go from there. But this one is great for any of those funky, energetic, because it has an uplifting, it's almost like lemon balm and lemongrass having a baby. It's a lot like that energy. Okay. So, and it has
I have had it before.
Yeah.
Passion flower.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, something you might know a little bit about.
Okay.
People use cannabis for their anxiety and depression.
Yes, they do.
So would you recommend
I didn't know if we could get into that on here.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Sorry. I was going to say that, but I had to catch myself because I was like, I don't know if I can say that on here. Oh, yeah.
I mean, we did have a whole other show that was just about cannabis.
Okay.
This one is about all the plants. So anyway, as I mentioned before, I have smoked certain blends, herbal blends, and I know a lot more people now are starting to blend herbs into their cannabis.
Yes.
So let's say someone is struggling with anxiety or depression, or if they're in a funk, whatever it may be, they're struggling with their mental health. What would you suggest either pairs well with cannabis or maybe even that they should put into their mix?
Lavender.
Oh, that's
lavender
nice.
pairs really well. Like if you can get some, I think I have some dried lavender here. Passion flower pairs really well with cannabis.
In a smoking way? Or?
Yes, in a smoking way. Something that I don't have in front of me, but I'm sure has been talked about to death on most is blue lotus, but again, moderation if you're someone where you are.
I never thought about smoking blue lotus. We did a whole blue lotus episode and we did not.
Oh my goodness.
I did not know you could smoke
most people I know or that I support with these herbs, they prefer smoking it to like drinking the tea once they were having a tincture. But yeah, it is one of the most smoked herbs.
Well, that would be my next question. So I know that the way you prepare it, the application of it makes all the difference. So what would be a preferred method for you? If someone is dealing with, say, like extreme anxiety, do you think that they should maybe focus on consuming it in a tea or in a tincture, or does
So
it really matter?
I'm
Okay.
going to say for me, when I'm working with someone, I like to be sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a lot of people don't have the money
Mm-hmm.
to tinctures can get expensive,
Mm-hmm.
so some people can't afford that. So I tell everyone we're going to go ahead and start with teas. Teas are gentle, they're soothing. They also can sometimes just offer like smaller dosages of things so you can see how your body reacts to it. As you assimilate or develop a relationship with this herb, then move into a tincture if you feel the need. Some people, after just using teas, don't. There are some herbs like St. John wort that is like, honestly, I'm like, you need to have it in a tincture.
Okay.
Some that are just, they are more effective, in my opinion, via tincture.
I'm
Um,
taking a lemon balm tincture right now
okay,
for anxiety, and I do think it does help.
it
But
does.
I'm taking
Okay.
your advice and not taking it every day.
Right. Now, I will tell people too with herbs, whenever you're working with any sort of plant allies, it's really important to focus on like the body integration too. Some people are just like, oh, I took a tincture today, but then they'll lay inside in a dark room all day and they're like, I'm still depressed. And I'm like, so your body needs to be able to integrate and like open up pathways to receive this herb. So
Right.
get out, take a
Well,
walk,
that's the
like
thing about cannabis too, because I feel like it helps with my anxiety a
yes,
lot. But it also, I have to, like you said, I have to go out and connect with nature in some type of a way,
correct.
even if it's just going onto my balcony and messing with my plants for a little
Now,
bit, you know?
as it pertains to cannabis, I usually will tell people like you obviously don't want to just consume anything.
Right.
It's like
Those
anything else. Quality
terpenes.
terpenes are very important in this case. This is when I would really look at like the terp profile of a particular strain, and then based on it, like you want to look for carafilene, you want to look for limonene.
Love
Those,
that one.
yes, limonene is so uplifting. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, it's great. That's why a lot of sativas are heavy in it. But carafilene is another one that's great for anxiety and depression.
Mhm.
Myrcene, if someone is really having a lot of depression or anxiety that is dealing with dissociative
Right.
issues, almost,
Mhm.
if you will.
And you
As
can use other types of plants to
oh yeah,
accentuate, because obviously terpenes are not just in cannabis.
absolutely, absolutely. They're not only just in cannabis. So I'm just speaking out loud, but if you, a lot of people do enjoy
I
cannabis
wonder
that is
if
myrcene.
lemon balm has the limonene profile. Would
It
you be
has a
able to
little of a
kind of like
limonene profile, yeah.
boost it
Mhm.
in your
You can
cannabis if you had like maybe a glass of lemon balm tea or
it's
something
so
like that?
funny that you said that because for some of our living soil, I do like lemongrass or lemon balm like teas, and literally you infuse the soil, but it depends on which plant is in the soil because I want to make sure it's a plant that has a limonene profile so I
You put like the
enhance.
tea in the soil?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That's insane. I've never had any. When I tell people, they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, because it'll enhance that profile for that plant if it's already supposed to. But again, this is when it's important to know what you're growing or what strains you have in their profiles. But oh, yeah. Dang, you're good. Yeah, you're good. You are good. Most people don't ever think that. But yeah, that would absolutely help, like,
Wow.
accentuate it for sure.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, how can people get access to your blends?
Okay, so you can visit my website, tashianathesungoddess.com. I do offer custom consultations for like custom blends. So you're able to just reach out via email. All the instructions are there on my site. You can simply go to products, teas. There are a few blends that are already there. I do have like an anxiety blend, if you will. It's almost like a weighted blanket in a cup is what I call it. That's my little weighted blanket. But for someone that doesn't want to try something, I guess, if you will, like baseline,
Mhm.
I'm happy to make custom blends. So you guys can just reach out. Absolutely.
And so then they would go and have like a consultation with you? How does
Correct.
that work?
They could email me, or you guys could email me. We can do a phone call, FaceTime. I'm pretty open to whatever forms of communication people enjoy. And I would want to have a consult with you, go through a few of your ailments, any recurring emotional patterns, if we're talking about mental health in this instance, all of those sorts of clinical indicators. And then from there, I, again, am going to I know it sounds odd, but psychically scan people so that way I can make sure I'm aligning them with the most appropriate herb, the most appropriate like energy for their ailment.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So before we end, do you have any precautions for people who are trying to use plant medicine for their mental health, or any kind of like just any advice, really?
Yes. So again, go slow. Low dosage and go slow, because people do not understand how easy it is to exasperate pathways that are already on the fray.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I know. I come from a family.
Oh, I know.
When you're saying that, I just think of my uncle who will literally just take whatever you hand him. Like, he won't even ask what it is. He'll just pop it in his mouth.
Shame. Yeah. Yeah. He's like, I'll just take this. It's fine.
It's like, I appreciate the trust, but
I would say that. And again, I can't stress enough the need. I know this sounds very woo-woo for some people, but to actually sit with intention with the herbs or herb you are using, because again, they are intelligences. Unlike the, RX medications, a lot of us are forced to use. These have consciousnesses. So they actually will work with you when you communicate what you need from them. So,
and how do you do that? I've asked people this before, but everyone asks and everyone has a different answer.
Okay. So for me, for example, let's say you're not someone like me that has outwardly noticeable
let's say
psychic
someone
gift.
who's extremely skeptical.
Okay.
All right. And they're like, how am I supposed to talk to a plant?
So
okay.
This is when I would tell someone, because I have a lot of those clients, trust me. I do. I have a lot of those. So I would tell them, like, listen, hey, Bob, no offense to any Bobs out there. Hey, Bob, you're going to take this. You are going to make a tea blend. I will explain everything thoroughly as I typically would, and let them know that a lot of people have traditional beliefs. So I find that this works often. I tell them you can pray with your tea if you want, because people respond to that really well. And that's essentially what I'm doing as well. You want to just open up and give gratitude. I thank God, whatever your belief is in. And so that way you can connect with this plant. I know, again, for some that sounds untraditional, but if you are seeking healing, this is what is required. Unfortunately, this is what is required. You will want to connect with this herb. Some people like to do it in its dry state. Just literally communicate with it like it is a conscious being. It hears you. It will work on your behalf. It will move on your behalf. And then you'll have most people do this and they're like, I literally thought you were just so nuts. And then when they do it, they're like, I don't know, it's doing something now. I feel like it knows me. Like, I'm like, see, I tell you,
I'm going to ask you, because my neurospiciness can't help myself. Do you talk out loud to the
I do.
I
do. Yes, I do recommend speaking out loud. But again, these are consciousnesses, so telepathic or just in your mind. Some people don't feel comfortable doing that. They don't want to talk out loud. That's okay. Like if you
I talk to all my plants.
If you have your tea out and you're sipping, like just consciously communicate what you want. You don't even have to speak it, but you want to make sure you're doing it with some actual intention. Like I know some people think that is very...
Like, you can't just be like, hey, Rose, make me rich, right?
Yeah. Like, I have, like, for example, there's a lot of, I grew up, very Christian, Southern Baptist. So I'm a fan of the Psalms. So I'll tell some individuals, depending on their ailments, I'll give them Psalms that align with it, and they can speak it over their herbs. The herbs receive that. They understand the intention, and then they can work on your behalf. If you don't feel comfortable just outwardly speaking. So I try to meet people where they are. So that's why, again, I always say it's on a case-by-case basis, for me anyway, because I want to make sure every person that is trying to make a connection is doing it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or in a way that's comfortable for them.
What about children? I know I'm really throwing.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay.
Because we have a series on here about talking to children.
Yeah.
We like to make, as much as we can, we try to incorporate how you would talk to children about plants and plant medicine. So what would you tell a small child about talking to a plant?
The great thing is children are way more receptive to this than actual adults. So, like with my own daughter, I told her, like, say if we have, I make her a rose chamomile tea, which she actually really does like. She's a lavender girl too. So she likes lavender and she loves ashwagandha. I don't know. That's her. She loves, she just loves it. She loves saying it. She loves learning about it. She loves that word. She loves it. Whenever I tell her to work with them, I tell her, listen, these are plants. I always use my mom as an example because she's a crazy plant lady. She loves plants. I love you, Mom. She loves plants. So she will talk to them. And I'm like, just like your Nana talks to her plants, these are plants or these were flowers. You talk to them and say thank you. And you can think what you want from them. Kids love it, and they are way more willing, and they also have less of a threshold, so they actually can communicate way easier with plants than we can.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like natural, like they will naturally form an allyship with children. Like they really will, just because they have less of a veil up than us. You know what I mean? Like they have less of a veil up than us. So they really, But my daughter loves it. She's always like, okay, I'm talking to my tea. Like she's 11 now, but she's been drinking tea since she was like 5, and she's so receptive. She makes her own tea now. Yeah, she's a tea girl.
Cute.
Oh yeah, she's a tea girl. She loves calendula, but she uses it more for like bathing. She loves it in baths. So yeah.
Awesome. I love that.
Kids are very open. They're a lot more intelligent than people seem to think. They are more conscious and emotionally intelligent than us. So they get it. They understand.
Absolutely. Well, I really appreciate you coming back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And once again, tell people your website address. Even though it will be in the show notes.
It will be in the show notes. But again, you guys can reach me at TashianaTheSunGoddess.com. Also, I'm on all social media platforms, Substack under Tashiana the Sun Goddess as well. Wow. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I love being here. Thank you.
Your Highness Media. Subscribe to our podcast. Would you subscribe to Your Highness Media?
This podcast has been a product of Your Highness Media. Each episode is written, produced, and edited by Your Highness Media. Thank you for listening.